This is my truth, and you can deal with it, accept it, or not.
All right, welcome back, kings and queens. We are getting into the reality, the thick of it, all things reality television today. And we are talking the Real Housewives of Potomac, but not the entire cast. We are going to focus specifically in this segment on Karen Huger. She is out, she's done her time, and she is sitting down. Not only did she sit down with Sherri Shepard, she also had an exclusive post-release video in her home where Andy Cohen facilitated that conversation. We are going to talk about it. Karen is home, and she's also scheduled to appear on Reunion Part 2, I do believe, for the Real Housewives of Potomac. Now, we're going to talk about everybody else a little bit later, but today I want to focus on Karen because I think the audience is split. Some of you felt like the interview didn't do it for you, the interview in her home with Andy, and some of you feel like, no, it was just what the doctor ordered. Well, let's go. For those of you who are just tuned in or if you're new to the channel, welcome to the palace. I am Queen Sheba. I cover a variety of hot topics specific to reality television, but most importantly, I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience.
Subscribe now.
Listen, I have a lot to say. My first thought regarding Karen's interview is I thought it was a chef's kiss. What more can you expect? The lady just got home, like 48 to 72 hours. Like she's having cameras in her face. So give her some time, y'all. She hasn't even decompressed and she has cameras. And I kind of feel like, listen, I liked the interview. I think it was just right for now. Anything under that would not have been enough, and anything over that would have been too much. And I kind of feel like Karen can't win for losing right now. So she kind of has to stay below the radar, in my opinion. But I did love the humbleness that she exuded in the interview, period. I feel like she owned her ish. She owned her ish. And let me say this. I'm not making excuses. I am very happy that no one lost their lives. I am very happy that no one was hurt. I am very happy that Karen walked away from that accident unscathed. I am so happy for that, right? Still a bad thing, still an issue there, but she paid her restitution. She did her time. And for me, right, wrong, or indifferent, as I sat with an open heart and I listened to the interview, I'm going to say this. Some people may not agree. I said to myself, I said, I feel like she earned the title of being the Grande Dame, the Grande Dame. She was very gracious to her fans after she was released because that's a very vulnerable situation to be in, right? You're coming out of prison. You're looking a hot mess. As she said before, the ladies in the jail took their extensions out of their hair so that she could look somewhat decent as she's walking out. There's going to be lights, cameras, action. So I kind of feel like it was really nice and kind of her. It was very humbling of her to let down that window and say hi to her fans in the condition that she was in, okay? Because a lot of them would never. And I'm not just talking reality stars. I'm talking about your favorite celebrities. They wouldn't give you the time of day. There was one reporter there that asked Karen a couple of questions after her release, and she expressed her appreciation for her family. I'm with it. I think that's enough. I think that's all we can expect in this moment. Anything else, y'all? Come on, give the lady a break. That's all I'm saying. She did her time. And for me, that is accountability. She served her time. She didn't try to isolate herself away from the other prisoners. She said she was in general population. She learned a lot. What more do you want? So anywho, you got to think about it. It's not her. I mean, she's done another interview. Remember Bravo last year? They interviewed her. She was dressed in white. So this isn't the first interview. This is actually the second. She keeps owning the fact that she was wrong. She owns the fact that she has a problem, not only with alcohol, but pills. What more do y'all need from her? I'll wait. She's not running from the truth. She said prison was probably the best thing to ever happen to her because it forced her to have to look on the inside and say, listen, sister, girl, queen, Grande Dame, you got some issues. And all of that, I am woman, hear me roar, all of that Grande Dame facade, the persona of it all, being a high echelon in the Black community, being in Potomac did not save her. But prison did, because it forced her to have to look at the demons that she was fighting on the inside. I have nothing but respect for that. I feel like she addressed her sorrows in the interview with Andy. I feel like he was the right person to do it, right? What more do y'all want? She's paid her dues to society. She did talk about the plea deal. She said her attorneys advised her to take the plea deal, but she was so arrogant. She was in such a place of denial, y'all, that she thought she could beat it. She thought she could beat it. And not only that, she was not in a sober state of mind. She said she was still drinking. She was still popping pills. And the kids refer to that as being a pill head. Oh, I have a lot to say. I'm not making excuses, but we have to look at we have to look at the reality of it all. So she ignored her attorney's advice. She disobeyed them. And not only that, she had lots of details from Ray. I want to talk about that. I had to listen to this interview about 3 times. The first time I took it at face value. The second time, I wanted to see facial expressions. The third time, I put it all together. I honed in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience. Okay? When she says she hid it from Ray, initially I took it at face value and I said, oh, okay. She just didn't want him to have to look at that and be embarrassed. But now I know why she hid it from Ray. Now I know. Karen and Ray are not in a good place, and they haven't been for a number of years. Karen, thank you for sharing that, because I feel like a woman like Karen, there's a lot of pressure to go with the flow, to stay married, because that's just what they do. Karen's a boomer. You know, those women don't really talk a lot or give you a lot. You have to be on the inside of the inner circle to even get a little bit of background regarding what the hell is really going on in her marriage. I identified cracks in the marriage probably about a year ago. I made a video about it. I said, I don't think Karen and Ray are okay, just from the outside looking in. Number 1, because I'm a married woman. Number 2, I feel like I'm a woman of wisdom. I like people. And if you listen to some of the accusations that the cast members were making about Karen over the course of a few years regarding her being with the white man, blue eyes, having a driver that she would freak off and have a situation with, going out drinking every single day, I said, that is a woman that is hurt. That is a woman that is suppressing. And that is a woman that doesn't really talk about what the hell is really going on in her life, right? I also said, Ray seems extremely supportive on the outside looking in, but I also wonder if there's a different side to him that could be detached, kind of mean-spirited, cold in the home when the cameras are not around. Go back and look at the video. Only for us to come to find out, yes, it's exactly what we thought it was over here. And that's neither here nor there, but I feel like this interview gave me so much insight into the load that women actually carry, women like Karen. And they don't talk until it's too late, until you have 8, 4, 5, 6 DUIs under your belt. By then it's too late, because you could have damn well killed somebody. Thank God you didn't. It also taught me a lot about women like Karen that don't seek support, not just for drinking and substance use, but also support from their loved ones when they're starving to death. Based on this interview, I'm going to say she's been starving to death in her family for a number of years. She's checking off the boxes. She's doing the right thing. Boom, got married. Got me a nice man named Ray. Boom, got a daughter. Boom, got a son. Boom, live in this nice hill in a nice mansion in the hills. Potomac, zip code. I'm beautiful. I do this and that. On the outside looking in, everything is great. But on the inside, I am dying, killing me softly. And nobody knows it but me. So I felt like it was a very insightful interview. I took a lot of things. I walked away with a lot of, right? A lot of moments. And my heart goes out to her for a number of reasons, because I feel like Karen's in this position where she's going to have to make some hard decisions probably over the next 12 to 18 months. And it could go either way. It could go either way. I know there's definitely a disconnect between she and her husband, Ray. For me, it's easy to see if you pay attention, right? But we live. We live in a world where nobody cares about anybody else other than themselves. So sometimes you can miss the intricate details of your strong friends, your successful friends. But the lady was drowning. The lady was drowning. She is drowning. I think this is a new beginning for her. I think the life that Karen, or I believe the life that Karen once knew, that's no longer a thing anymore. Because if you think about some of the details that came out in this interview, Karen hasn't really been sober a great portion of her life. She hasn't been. And the interview confirmed it. She said she and Ray had a really heart to heart. They sat down and Ray said, okay. Because she said, listen, I'm a different woman now. I'm a different woman. And Ray said, that's good to know. Because now I can let you go. If the marriage isn't working, if this is the end of the road for us here, and if this is where whatever it ends, then I can let you go. I'm going to say this. Don't do it, Karen. And I don't, gosh, don't do it. Not yet. I don't really think you've gotten the opportunity. And I know you and Ray have been married for a long time, but I don't really think you've gotten the opportunity to experience your marriage. You could not have. Number one, she shared that trauma impeded her growth psychologically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. So, if the truth be told, and if everything what you're saying is true, you were never a wife to Ray. And Ray couldn't penetrate your walls to be a husband to you. You and Ray were subconsciously having a marriage, but neither one of you were consciously involved. You couldn't have been. You were traumatized. You brought the trauma to the marriage. You self-medicated by alcohol and pills. So the marriage was never a thing, even though you are married. If Karen came to me and said, what should I do? And there's no physical abuse, there's no emotional abuse, I would say, don't do it. Don't leave your husband. Go ahead and cross the finish line. 2 is better than 1. Ray has been your covering from start to finish. Ray stood by you during one of the toughest moments of your life. Ray was on the scene. Ray intercepted some of the questions that the officers were asking in real time. You were drunk out of your freaking mind, and Ray took those hits for you. Ray took the public embarrassment. Ray took the public shaming, because let's just, come on, Karen. It's not just about you. It's his family too. You are his wife, and he matters too in the community. He has a reputation to uphold. He's also the father of your children. Don't get tricked out of your spot. Don't allow the voices in your head to make you think you're bigger than what you have with that guy. Finish strong. I feel like it's a setup if you're not careful, Karen. You cannot buy into this, I'm going to say this, fictitious world of reality. And I'm sure it feels good. I'm sure it looks good. And I'm sure it pays well. But I believe, if Karen were to ask me, I would say, Karen, I believe it's a setup. I think it's a setup by the enemy to make you feel higher, to make you feel more lofty, more arrogant, and to make you feel like you can do it all by yourself, or that you can do better, that you know, the makeup, the wigs, the hair, the notoriety, all of that, to make you feel like you can get a man that can treat you better. It's a setup. Don't fall for it. Because I feel that if you make the choice to walk away, as soon as you do, the enemy will devour you. He damn near had you in his jaws while you were married. So imagine you being a single older woman without a covering. Your husband has been your covering. And you know what? He may not be your favorite person. He may not be. But maybe you're not his. I think the last thing you want to do is uncleave and come into this world. This is a cold world. This is a dark world. Now, if you compound that with the challenges that you face in your 60s, substance and pill use, because you're still not out of danger yet. Do y'all get what I'm saying? For those of you that are tuned in, you're still not out of danger yet. So don't allow your thoughts to get the best of you. Ray is not the problem. Please hear me when I say this. I'm happy for her that she was able to find structure and purpose while in jail. That's all I'm saying. I think the healing that she said, or the discovery, the aha moments that she had while she was in prison or jail, she achieved more insight in there those past 6 months than most of us achieve in a lifetime. She was forced to come to grips with who she is, where her deficits are, and where she felt herself. That's all I'm saying. It's not all about how you start. It's about how you finish. And I think she's come to terms with she has a lot of work to do. She said she needed the discipline. I can only imagine what her day-to-day life was like. If you stay out all night drinking and popping pills, she probably slept all day and got up just to film and went out to drink. And it was a rinse and repeat over and over and over. She said she loved the structure. Getting up at 4 a.m, having a schedule. I think that's good for you, Karen. And I hope it continues. But when we think about the gravity of the situation, I think it was a wonderful interview. I think Ray did a good job from opening the door as a man of the house. Because let's just talk, y'all. The world we live in today, there's not a lot of men of the house that could properly welcome in guests. Men who understand their rightful place in the home, who's going to open up the door, welcome in the producers, the production team, Andy Cohen, introduce him to everybody in the family. We're so used to seeing the women on social media, the women in television, stardom, Hollywood take the lead. I don't think you understood the dynamics that were actually in place, and we got to see that in real time. This is an affluent Black family. So you're not, that's why I keep saying, what did y'all want to hear in this interview? You have to consider the source. Yes, she's Karen Huger. Yes, she's on the Real Housewives of Potomac. Yes, she was outside when she crashed her car. And yes, she has several DUIs. But coming from an affluent Black family, you're not going to hear what you think you need to hear in the words that you need to hear it. These are people that are very strategic. They have to say the right things in the right manner. They are challenged with being politically correct. But however, if you just get to the bare bones of it all, she's owning it in a way that she's familiar with delivering responsibility. So I didn't walk away feeling disappointed or underwhelmed. I think it's a beautiful family. I loved how her son stepped in and handled the family business while she was in jail. I understand what Karen is saying regarding she and Ray contemplating a divorce. But I'm going to just say this. If what you say is true, and if you've been doing drugs that long, popping pills that long, under the influence of alcohol, a heavy, heavy drinker, the marriage never got off the ground. You may have come together to have sex. As a result, you had 2 kids. You may have cooked and cleaned, but you weren't woke in your marriage. And just like you feel like you suffered, hell, I'm sure he suffered. That's all I'm saying. And a lot of times as women, we forget men are people too. We're not the only ones in these relationships. You get what I'm saying? Karen, you've been under the influence of alcohol and pills for a long time, so you can't rely on your own thoughts in this moment. You're just going to have to take things day by day. I hope you're willing to try new life with Ray as a sober woman to determine if this is really what the two of you need. I think it's what you need, but I'm not the one in the marriage, right? And I think that's why I keep saying, oh shit, you don't know. Here's the thing about making decisions and making tough decisions. You really don't know how it's going to impact you because you have to go through with making the decision. And then you F around and you find out. That's all I'm saying. I feel like they've come too far to stop. Follow me very closely. It doesn't make any sense at this age to say goodbye and get a divorce, a formal divorce. I was thinking, well, hell, maybe y'all can just stay married, live apart, or date other people. But y'all are too old to be getting a divorce. Y'all are. Ray's at an age where he deserves to finish strong with you. He's older than you. He deserves to finish strong. He's at an age where he's an old man. Don't put him in a position to have to be a sugar daddy. Nobody's going to take care of him and see him through. He stood there, he was there with you while you were gone. And if it's true, while you messed around. And I love how Ray ensured to make sure that everybody in the family got a little bit of camera time. Proper, even under pressure. Come on, y'all. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. You can't get some of these men to remain proper under pressure these days. Shit, mad at you. You went out. If it was supposedly a man in a car, he gonna blast you on social media. He gonna leave the house. He gonna make you handle that scandal by yourself. That's what I mean by proper under pressure. What are you doing, Karen? So Andy arrived a little bit early. This was a very warm interview to me. It was safe. And the fact that Bravo would be or have boots on the ground and go to your home says a lot to me. What it says to me, Karen, is that they are invested in you. They see value in you. They enjoy having you on the show, and they plan on keeping you around for quite some time. I think Karen deserves this. I think she's earned it. Yes, she's made some very horrible decisions, some big mistakes, but she deserves a second chance. Especially having the information that we have now that she's been struggling for a number of years. You know what I mean? She said she didn't even watch the video. She couldn't come to grips with watching a video until she started seeing a therapist, and the therapist intervened. And the therapist was like, look, I'm not playing with you. You're going to sit your ass down. You're going to watch this video because you will not be able to come to grips and bear 100% accountability and responsibility until you see your side, until you see yourself, and you've got to be willing to watch it. So she had to watch it. And I just feel like it's the start of a beginning on the road to accountability. The lady was accountable. She used words like, I was sick, how sick I was. I was using pills. I was using alcohol. I was in denial. Y'all, that's accountability. Hell, y'all allow men to get away with worse. She also shared that she stopped growing emotionally at 19. She didn't even discover that until she was locked up in jail. She shared she was sexually assaulted, that she went through life on autopilot. This is owning everything. This is putting it out there. This is reality TV to me. The lady was not living. She was sleepwalking. She was drifting. She said having to come to grips with what happened to her in jail caused her to heal through narcotics and alcohol. She used those words. I didn't. And she said when it came to pills, I got a problem with pills, but it was a challenge. It was a struggle. She was resistant. She said while working with a therapist one-on-one to admit that she actually had a drinking problem. It took her a while to get there. Who tells you this? Who really gives you that amount of information? Not too many people in reality television. So with that being said, I think she did a hell of a job. Not too much on Karen, y'all. Not too much on Karen. Okay. And with that being said, let's take a look at what Karen had to say when she sat down and did a one-on-one exclusive interview on the Sherri Shepard show.
She's right now.
Accountability. The lady said she wore a fake cage. She went to treatment. Okay, I'm done. I'm healed. And she said the timing was imperfect, but it was perfect because it really forced her to heal. Not the beauty, some rehab facilities, depending on how much money you got, a really nice vacation. Sherri, she was a drunk, a pill head, a pill popper. And I'm not making excuses for her, but when you're dealing with somebody that's under the influence a great majority of their life, you can't expect them to process and think on a level and a capacity that you would think. So I don't know if that question, let's just see what she had to say. All right. That's it. That's all. That's all we have from the Grande Dame. I love it. I can't wait to see her and just kind of hear what she has to say on the reunion. With that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Let's take it to the chat.